My name is Mushi, a very poor kidnapper. The embarrassment of life made me so obsessed that I took the risk and kidnapped Liu Yanxi, the youngest daughter of the Liu Group boss, in an attempt to extort 500,000 yuan. But who would have thought that this rich second generation was suffering from depression and was thinking about how to commit suicide every day? Before I got the money, I became her full-time lifeguard, watching her every day, fearing that she would have an accident. One day, she suddenly looked at me affectionately and said, "I used to want to die, but now when I see you, I am full of expectations for tomorrow." Wait, this plot development is not right? I am a kidnapper. How come I didn't get a penny in the end, and I also got myself involved? Then, she is pretty and beautiful, which amazed me. In my limited life, I have never seen such a beautiful girl. She is often depressed and cries inexplicably from time to time. I always felt that I had made her sad and I felt guilty. So I comforted her from the bottom of my heart. "Don't be afraid, I kidnapped you just to blackmail you. I won't hurt you." Her voice was as pure as from a fairy tale. "How much do you want?" I showed 5 fingers. 500,000. She drooped her eyelids after hearing this, and seemed dissatisfied with the price. I hurriedly said, "Then I will give you a discount." But she shook her head. "How about you bargain?" I tried. But she hesitated and said, "I am really a worthless person." I was at a loss. The brain circuit of this rich second generation is really unpredictable. She asked again, "Do you really think I'm only worth 500,000? I hesitated for a moment, then 5 million? She sighed and seemed to still think it was too cheap. After discussing the price with her, I sat aside and continued to write the blackmail letter. "This is the 13th letter," I muttered as I wrote. "Why isn't your mother send money? Does she think my offer is too low? I really don't understand the world of rich people." She said, "I don't know how to write the letter. Read it to me." I responded and began to read. "Hello, Aunt Wang. How are you doing recently? I kidnapped your little daughter Yu Yanxi. Please remit 500,000 yuan to my card number 382. Thank you. Don't call the police, otherwise I will kill her before the police come." She was speechless after hearing this, not fierce enough. Then how to write it? I handed her a pen and paper. "How about you write it for me?" She hesitated. "Okay." I was about to when I her wrote, but hesitated again. What if she ran away? She saw through my thoughts and added, "Chinese people don't cheat Chinese people." Okay, this sentence made me relax my vigilance. She rubbed her sore arm, picked up a pen and paper, and quickly wrote a domineering blackmail letter. "Mrs. Ken, your daughter is in my hands. Transfer 500,000 yuan to the following account quickly. Don't think about less. Don't call the police or I will kill her." I looked at the letter and fell into deep thought. Is it really okay for her to write like this? But she was full of confidence. This way I look fierce. It seems to make sense. I was about to put the letter in an envelope when she suddenly said, "Why don't we extort 5 million yuan? I think I'm worth more than that." I shook my head firmly. "No, I only want 500,000 yuan." I decided to deliver the letter the next day, but I had a nightmare that night. I dreamed that I was arrested by the police, and Aunt Wang was shouting at the side, "I have transferred 500,000 yuan to you 13 times. Can you take it all at once? At least let me know if you want to pay in installments." I cried breathlessly. "I'm sorry, I forgot to activate the bank text message." I woke up suddenly and woke Yu Yan. She up with sweat dripping. "Yu Yanxi, wake up." She asked sleepily, "What's wrong?" I suddenly realized, I think I really forgot to activate the bank text message. She looked up at the sky helplessly. From the time I kidnapped her to the mountain for half a month, I didn't realize that she was so capable. This morning, I was going to send the extortion letter, but Liu Yan, she insisted on taking a shower, So I had to take her to the mountain spring to take a shower. She took half an hour to wash and finally came back. As soon as I tied her up, she asked me to help her shoelaces. Aren't your shoelaces tied well? The wings on both sides of the bow are different sizes. It's uncomfortable to see. I reluctantly helped her adjust her shoelaces, then went to mail the letter. And by the way, I opened the bank text message and checked the balance. But there was no trace of 500,000. As soon as I came out of the bank, I saw a policeman not far away. I was so scared that I shivered. Are they here to arrest me? I ran back to the bank and carefully stuck half of my head out of the door. I saw the police holding a photo and asked passersby, "Have you seen this person?" The passerby shook his head. "No. Remember to call the police if you see him." The passerby said, "What did this person do?" "I have practiced Santa and can help catch him." The police sternly refused. "This person is extremely vicious and has killed many people. Don't act trashly." I was scared to death after hearing this. What should I do? The police really came to arrest me. On the way back, I was so anxious that I ran all the way back to the abandoned warehouse. Lian Shi, what should I do? W. I hugged her as soon as I entered the room, crying like a child. She was startled by me. She had never seen me lose my composure like this since I was kidnapped. "What's wrong?" The police came to arrest me. I saw them holding my photo and asking around. "I'm done for now." Liu Yanxi was stunned for a moment. Maybe my mother called the police. When she said this, I cried even harder. She continued, "My mother called the police. You can kill her." Yes, I should kill her. I took out the dagger and gestured at her neck. She closed her eyes and waited for death. But my hands were shaking so badly that I couldn't do it at all. Finally, I threw the dagger away and cried in anger. Seeing me so abnormal, Liu Yanxi was disappointed and suddenly asked, "Why did the police ask passersby?" I repeated it while sobbing. Unexpectedly, Liu Yanxi's face was full of black lines. "Don't worry, they're not arresting you." How is it possible? I didn't believe it. She said disapprovingly, "You are extremely vicious and have killed countless people. You don't deserve it." Her words actually made me feel much more at ease. I ran to the mountain spring pool and washed my tear-stained face. Suddenly, we heard red. It was my younger brother Mushen brother. The nurse taught me to fold a small paper boat today. "When will you be back?" I replied with a smile. "Brother will be back soon, and Anne must listen to the doctor obediently." He replied. The simple word warmed my heart. I rolled up my sleeves and picked up some firewood, intending to go back to boil water for instant noodles. But when I returned to the warehouse with dry firewood, I saw Yu Yanxi rummaging through my backpack. "How did you untie the rope?" She didn't even raise her head and took out a wafer biscuit from her bag. "I just untied it casually and moved around." "Why did you come back so early?" "I didn't have time to tie myself back." No wonder the snacks in my bag always became less inexplicably. I thought I had eaten and forgot. "You have the ability. Why don't you run away when I'm not around?" She took a bite of the biscuit. "Why do you overestimate yourself? I can run away even if you are here." I hung my head, feeling frustrated. Liu Yanxi finished the biscuit and tore open a bag of potato chips. She seemed bored and suddenly asked me what my name was. "You should quit as soon as possible. You are not suitable for this job. I will do this to you." The doubts that have been hidden in my heart for a long time came out. "Why are you always depressed?" "Because I have depression," she said lightly. I suddenly realized. "No wonder you always want to die," she corrected. "It's to want to die, you used the wrong word. I heard that people with depression are very painful and have a high suicide rate. It is said that people have no worries if they have money. You should be glad that you have everything, so don't be sad. Thank you for your ineffective advice. Because Liu Yanxi's rope and tying skills are so powerful, I simply stopped tying her up. I tossed and turned and couldn't fall asleep. When I thought of Mu Shen saying he missed me, I wanted to fly back to the hospital to see him immediately. How about going back tomorrow to see him? Thinking about it, I gradually fell asleep. But not long after, I woke up because of the itch. My whole body was itchy and itchy. I checked the symptoms on my phone while scratching. Tachycardia? Not likely. Psoriasis? Kidney failure? I tried, but it didn't seem like it. These days I was afraid that Liu Yanxi would run away, so I stayed with her every day. I didn't have time to go to the toilet and often held it in. I saw online that holding urine could cause kidney failure, and I was shocked. Liu Yanxi seemed to be woken up by me. What's wrong? Why aren't you sleeping yet? I feel itchy all over, and I feel so uncomfortable. I checked online and it said it's kidney failure. Shit. Will I die? I don't want to die. How long have you not showered? I haven't showered since I tied you up. I'm afraid you'll run away. Go take a shower and it will probably be fine. I listened to her and took a shower quickly. Sure enough, I felt refreshed and my body was no longer itchy. The next morning, I saw Yu Yan. She was still sleeping soundly. In order not to wake her up, I didn't dare to brush my tongue when brushing my teeth. I was afraid of vomiting. I ate potato chips only when they melted slowly in my mouth. The phone rang. It was my childhood friend Yi Hao. As soon as he answered the phone, he greeted me bluntly. Damn it, Brother Mu. Where have you been all this time? Do you know how much Mu Shen misses you? I have something to do recently, and I'll go back to the hospital right away. After hanging up the phone, I rushed to the hospital in a hurry. Yi Hao, watching cartoons with Mu Shen now. As soon as Mu Shen saw me, he immediately rushed over and hugged me. Brother, I missed you so much. You really came back. Am I dreaming? I squatted down to look him in the eye and pinched his little face. No, have you listened to the doctor recently? Are you still afraid of injections? No, I'm grown up, I'm a man, I can protect my brother. Mu Shen and I were in a brotherly relationship. And Yi Hao angrily pulled me out of the ward and asked me why I was so cruel to abandon my brother. And disappeared for more than half a month. I lowered my voice. I went to get money and kidnapped the daughter of the president of Liu Group. Yi Hao was stunned. Are you crazy? Turn back. At this time Mu Shen ran over and invited me to fold a small paper boat, so the three of us sat on the bed and folded it together. I was clumsy, so I had to ask Yi Hao, is it folded like this, folded over? Please turn back. After a while, I asked again, how do you fold the middle awning? Or should it be folded back, and then just pull it? Please turn back. This conversation relieved a lot of my fear. After folding the little paper boat, Mu Shen watched some cartoons and fell asleep because he was tired. It was time for me to go back to the waste warehouse to see Liu Yanxi. Yi Hao and I said goodbye outside the hospital. He was in tears. I thought he was reluctant to leave me, but he said, does this count as harboring a crime? Don't worry, I will break up with you before I get caught and won't implicate you. He pointed at an Audi logo with a serious expression. Look at those 4 circles. Don't they look like the pairs of silver bracelets? One from me. Please turn back. After separating from Yi Hao, I returned to the warehouse and opened the door to find that Liu Yanxi was not there. I looked around for a few times, but there was no trace of her. She didn't run away, did she? She must have called the police. Just when I was getting anxious, I saw Yu Yanxi coming back with a 24-inch suitcase. I was surprised and happy. Where did you go? I was so worried. I went home to get some clothes to change. I asked while wiping my tears, why did you come back? We are kidnapping in good faith. I won't leave until you let me go. Don't cry. You have lost your kidnapper's memento. Luckily, Liu Yanqi came back, otherwise I would have to turn myself in. Since she came back with the big suitcase, she started to transform the old warehouse. She cleaned the sleeping area, put up wallpaper, made a shoe rack with discarded wooden boards, and even pulled a clothesline outside the warehouse. After a while, she was repairing the broken windows and installing curtains. I watched her operating with Sun. Liu Yanqi, are you planning to live here for a long time? I will leave when you extort 500,000 yuan. I was a little touched. Thank you for helping me extort your mother. She installed the curtains, sweated, took the shower gel and went to the pool to take a bath. At this time, my mobile phone rang. I thought it was a bank message. 500,000 yuan arrived. I was so excited that I held my breath and opened it expectantly. It turned out to be a harassing text message. I was sighing and crying, and suddenly there was another mobile phone ringing. It was not mine. I followed the sound in confusion and found the source in Liu Yanqi's suitcase. When did she bring the phone? Did she secretly call the police? I picked up her phone and clicked it. It was a missed call called Jin Gutai. Then Jin Gutai sent a WeChat message. Why didn't you answer the phone? Another message. The medicine was sent to you. What medicine was sent? I looked through the chat records curiously and found that Liu Yanqi had been carrying her mobile phone. I was too careless and forgot to check it. Last night she chatted with Jin Gutai. Liu Yanqi, what's wrong with you? Why are you going back when you've already gone home? I'm happy too. That kidnapper is quite interesting. Forget it, whatever you want. By the way, I forgot to take the medicine. Send me the location and I'll send it to you tomorrow. Liu Yanqi sent the address of the nearest express delivery point at the foot of the warehouse. Write this so I can go there and come back quickly. How about writing your home? No. My home is too far away. What if he can't see me? Suddenly, the phone rang again, and I was startled and accidentally answered the call. It was Jin Gutai. On the other end of the phone, Liu Yanqi, you finally answered the phone. I swallowed, not knowing what to do. The other end continued to urge. Why don't you talk? Nothing happened. I'll call the police, I hurriedly said. No, I'm the heart kidnapper. Dr. Ma, don't call the police. Liu Yanqi promised to help me blackmail her mother. I won't hurt her. I won't call the police. Let Liu Yanqi answer the phone. She's taking a shower and is sweating. The other end coughed awkwardly. Then I won't bother you. You two can have fun slowly. After that, he hung up the phone. At this time, Liu Yanqi came back, holding a wet skirt in her hand, hanging on the clothesline. I ran out with my phone in my hand. Liu Yanqi, I'm sorry. I peeked at your phone. But why didn't you tell me that you hid your phone? Didn't we agree to kidnap in good faith? I was afraid that you would use the phone navigation to run away. I was afraid that you would misunderstand that I called the police. And this phone is for navigation. Otherwise, let's chat, we chat. She is simply a self-conscious good hostage, which saves me a lot of worry. At night I shamelessly lean towards her. Liu Yanqi, you smell so good, and your hair smells unique. I felt a little embarrassed after saying that, so I quickly moved away. In the dark, she suddenly grabbed my hand. Come back and talk to me. I lay back down obediently. Why are you helping me? She asked. I need money urgently. When I talk about money, I get excited. Yanqi, Are you your mother's biological child? Why hasn't she sent money to you in such a long time? She may be raising money everywhere. The U group is so big, 500,000 on would be a matter of minutes. You don't believe what you said, do you? I don't believe you. I suddenly thought, maybe the blackmail letter I wrote didn't reach your mother at all. Are you lying to me again? She smiled. No, I didn't lie to you. You said that Chinese people don't lie to Chinese people. I remember it. I don't know why, but I was a little angry. But I was so sleepy that I fell asleep while being angry. In the middle of the night, I was awakened by a burst of sobbing. In the dim moonlight, I saw Yu Yanqi crying with her hands on her knees. I stood up and sat opposite her. I could see that she was in great pain. Liu Yanqi, Liu Yanqi. I called her softly, but she seemed to have lost her soul and didn't even lift her eyelids. I didn't know what to do, so I could only sit with her silently. At this time, I suddenly had an idea, picked up Liu Yanqi's mobile phone, and quietly went outside the warehouse to call the Jingut number. Not long after the call was connected, you finally decided to call me. What did your heart kidnapper do to you? What happened? Dr. Ma, Yu Yanqi is crying. I don't know what to do. The more I spoke, the more I wanted to cry, and my voice was cheerful. She was obviously surprised. Don't panic. Patients with depression have great mood swings. You should pay attention to comfort them. Don't let anything happen. The signal suddenly became bad, and the voice was intermittent, resulting in information asymmetry between us. What happened? Liu Yanqi will commit suicide? I heard that patients with depression will commit suicide. No, I mean the signal is bad. I can't hear you clearly. Send me the location. I'll be there right away. After saying that, she hung up the phone. I hesitated. Would she call the police to arrest me if she knew this? But if Liu Yanqi had any accident, I would be a criminal. I made up my mind and sent her the location. Back at the warehouse, Liu Yanqi changed her posture and continued to cry. I sat next to her and held her hand. Liu Yanqi, don't be afraid, the doctor will come. She finally looked up at me and said in a hoarse voice, my brother. Didn't dare to leave for a moment, for fear that she would be upset. I don't know how long it took, but Liu Yan, she finally stopped crying and slowly fell asleep on my shoulder. Sarah, I went out and saw a young woman with a flashlight. As I got closer, I saw her appearance clearly. She was wearing gold-rimmed glasses and had a quiet temperament. She looked no more than 20 years old. She muttered, what a shabby place, cars can't even drive up. She got straight to the point. Where's Yu Yanqi? She's asleep. In order not to wake Liu Yanqi up, we tiptoed into the warehouse. Seeing that she was sleeping soundly, Ma breathed a sigh of relief. I whispered, Doctor, is Liu Yanqi in danger? Moderate depression, but there is still hope for recovery. I heard that patients with depression are in a long-term low mood. I feel uncomfortable when I think of myself when I'm in a bad mood occasionally. Why did you kidnap her? For money. My brother is sick and needs a kidney transplant. She was silent for a while, expressed sympathy for my experience, and asked me which hospital my brother was in. I told her the name of the hospital, and she was a little surprised. It turned out that she worked in the psychiatric department of that hospital. She also enthusiastically said that I could find her if I needed her in the future. I was very moved and my eyes were instantly wet. She took out her mobile phone and opened the WeChat QR code business card. Let's add each other as friends and contact each other at any time if we encounter any problems. I wiped my wet eyes, clicked on WeChat to scan, and with that ding sound I shivered in fear and quickly turned down the volume. Fortunately, I didn't wake up Liu Yanqi. My last name is Xiao. She emphasized, fearing that I would note it as muscle and bone patch. Just after adding dive, Mom, chat, Liuyan's leisurely voice came from behind. Why did you two add friends without my knowledge? Look at what she said. It's as if we were doing something shameful. Yan, she was angry because I added drive. Ma's my friend and she ignored me all night. The next day I woke up early. Doctor, Ma was still sleeping, but Yan, she was gone again. My heart instantly rose to my throat. She was in such a bad state last night. Could she be upset? I quickly ran out of the warehouse to find her. Fortunately, she was sitting on a marble outside the warehouse playing with her mobile phone, which was my mobile phone. I saw her openly chat, set the Liuyan note to the top, then found Dr. Mon deleted it without hesitation. I was so angry that I clenched my fists and shouted, Liuyan. She shuddered with fear, then ran away quickly with her phone in hand. I was about to give up and walk back when I bumped into someone. I looked up and saw a middle-aged man in his 50s with an ordinary appearance. Seeing this, Liuyan, she hurried to my side. At this time, Doctor, whose voice came from the warehouse, I didn't see clearly last night because it was dark. Now I see, wow, there are pots and pans everywhere. Are you two going to start a family here? He walked out with a laziness and was stunned for a long time when he saw the strange man. I was surprised to find that the man was carrying a shotgun. He pointed the gun at us and said viciously, Don't move, don't call the police. The man forced us into the warehouse with a gun, took away the mobile phone, turned it off and removed the car to prevent the police from tracking. Dr. Ma swallowed his saliva, plucked up the courage to say, Brother, let us go. We will never call the police and we don't know you at all so we can't provide clues to the police. The man sneered. The police are looking for me everywhere, how can you not know? So he was the vicious kidnapper who killed so many people. I wanted to cry but I had no tears. I was so unlucky today. Dr. Ma was silent for a long time. Then I really don't know you. Stop talking nonsense. The man pointed at me and the rope on the ground. You, help me tie them up. I didn't dare to disobey so I had to pick up the rope and tie her. Man Liuyan, she backed to back. Then the man picked up another rope and tied me up like a dumpling. When he tied me up, he found the unsent blackmail letter in my pocket and said in disbelief, Are you also in this business? I nodded. He put the letter away and said, I'm worried about running away without money. I want this 500,000. Now I wanted to cry even more. I worked so hard for so long but the duck in my mouth flew away. Give me the card, he ordered. I trembled and said, In the pink backpack in the corner. He walked over, roughly dumped the contents of the bag, found the bank card, and asked me for the password. I answered honestly, It's my birthday. But how the hell do I know when your birthday is? I yelled. This time Yuyan, she suddenly said, There is no money in the card. It's useless for you to take it. The man spat. No money? Are you guys playing tricks on me? Yuyan, she said calmly. But I can help you call my mother to blackmail. The man obviously didn't believe it. You kid want to play tricks, right? Don't you want to take the money and run away? Then I will spend money to avoid disaster, and you have to let me go after I get the money. Yuyan, she insisted. The man still didn't trust. I took away your mobile phone, how can you call the police? If you really want to call the police, you can only go to the police station in person. By the time you go to report the case, I will have escaped long ago. The man was a little hesitant, and after thinking for a while, he said, Okay, but you are not allowed to call. God knows what you will do on the phone. I will send text messages from your phone myself. Liuyan, she nodded without hesitation. After the man sent the text message on Liuyan's phone, he immediately turned off the phone and pulled out the card. His hands and feet were numb from being tied up, and he was tired and sleepy. I don't know how long it took, but the man's snoring gradually began. I suddenly heard a slight, rustling sound, and in the faint moonlight, I saw Yu Yanxi untying the rope. She made a hushed gesture to me and Dr. Ma and then carefully helped us untie the rope. We tiptoed out of the warehouse, and when we were about to slip out, Dr. Ma accidentally kicked the pots and pans at the door, which immediately made a clanging sound. We were instantly scared and our hair stood on end. Who? Stop! The man was awakened. Lan! Yuan, she gave an order, and we ran down the mountain hand in hand. Stop, or I'll shoot. The man chased after me, and then there were two gunshots. Fortunately it was night, and he couldn't see clearly, so he could only shoot randomly. After a while, there was no movement behind him. Just when I was relieved, Liu Yan, she suddenly protected me to her chest. Bang, a gunshot rang out, and she groaned in pain. I looked up in panic and found that the man had come from some path and was in front of us with a gun. Liu Yan, she was shot in the shoulder to protect me. He raised the gun again and drive. Ma was so scared that he wanted to hide, but he accidentally slipped and was about to fall down the mountain. He instinctively grabbed my trouser legs, and the three of us rolled down the hillside. I felt dizzy, and the sound of branches scratching clothes and the sound of bodies hitting stones was in my ears. We stopped on a raised flat ground halfway up the mountain. It took me a long time to recover, and I gently pushed Liu Yan, she who was hugging me, and she groaned in pain. I felt my hands were wet and sticky, and when I looked closely, it was blood. Liu Yan, you are bleeding, don't scare me. I burst into tears instantly. Brother Mu, don't cry, I can't die. Her voice was very weak. I got out of her arms and laid her flat on the ground gently. Her brows were furrowed, her forehead was covered with sweat, and her face was pale. I was so worried that I hugged her and cried. Dr. Ma also fell hard. I didn't know where his glasses fell. There was a big cut on his arm and scratches on his face, but he still forced himself to come over and briefly check Liu Yanxi's injuries. Fortunately, nothing serious. I wiped my tears and said, Dr. Ma, what should we do now? He also gradually sobbed. I don't know, I have never suffered such a crime. The two looked at each other in silence, and the atmosphere became more depressing. I am most worried that the bad guys will chase us. What if he chases us? As soon as I finished speaking, a car passed by the winding mountain road not far away. We hurriedly called for help, but the distance was too far and the car passed by in a flash. Yan, she scoffed me. She looked pale and said weakly, I'm fine, don't worry, he won't chase us. This place is very close to the foot of the mountain. He's wanted by the whole city and dare not show it casually. He can only hide in the mountain. She raised her hand with difficulty. Quick, you smile. I hurriedly held her half-raised hand. Liu Yanxi, don't say anything, save some energy. Dr. Ma was also sobbing softly and wiping tears. I cried like a tearful person. Yu Yanxi, you can't be in trouble, otherwise I will blame myself to death. She took a deep breath, endured the pain and finally said, quickly use my Hai Jiao Yum Kai phone watch to call the police. I was stunned for a moment, quickly took off her watch, and dialed the phone. Police and, I want to call the police. We are being chased by a vicious murderer. Near the old warehouse on the mountain, you come quickly, otherwise he will run away. On the other end of the phone, the police had replied calmly, don't be afraid, young man. We will go out immediately. Pay attention to protect yourself, and call for help in time if you encounter danger. After calling the police, I felt a little relieved, but I was still very scared. I was afraid that the bad guys would come and that Liu Yanxi would be in trouble. Dr. Ma and I kept crying. Liu Yanxi sighed helplessly. I'm so annoyed by you crying. As soon as she said this, Dr. Ma and I immediately shut up and held back our tears. Soon, the siren sounded. Since we were halfway up the mountain, we didn't know the situation outside and could only wait for rescue. After we were rescued, we were immediately sent to the hospital for examination. I only had some scratches on my elbow and leg, while Yu Yanxi was not only shot, but also had her arm dislocated, her ankle broken, and a big bump on her forehead. Fortunately, it was a homemade shotgun with a little power and no vital injuries were caused. I didn't dare let Mu Shen and Jihan know about this. Although they were in the same hospital, I still didn't go to see them. When I came to Liu Yanxi and Dr. Ma's ward, I couldn't help crying when I saw Yu Yanxi lying on the bed with a plaster cast. I walked over and sat beside her bed. Yu Yanxi, I cut a watermelon for you, she said and motioned me to feed her. When I was feeding Liu Yanxi watermelon, Dr. Mugov twice and raised his newly bandaged arm in front of me and waved it. I want to eat watermelon too. Yu Yanxi threw a pillow over. Shit. Sunlight poured in through the window, making Liu Yanxi's originally beautiful features look even more beautiful as if covered with a filter. I couldn't help but look at her a few more times, thinking to myself that I like her so much. Suddenly someone knocked on the door. It was two policemen. They came to invite us to take a statement. Mr. Mu, we have something to ask. When we were interrogating the prisoner, he said that you are also a kidnapper. Another policeman took out an evidence bag containing a ransom letter. My heart skipped a beat. Yes, I'm indeed a kidnapper. I kidnapped Yu Yan. She and planned to extort 500,000 yuan. I should go to jail? I was about to admit it when Liu Yan, she suddenly said, you misunderstood. Hey, it's my boyfriend. We were just joking. The police looked at us suspiciously and drive. I was there, I can testify. They were just role-playing. Why are you meddling in this? Role-playing? The two police looked at each other, a little embarrassed. And I wrote this blackmail letter. Liu Yanxi said while eating watermelon. I just wrote it for fun. My boyfriend thought it was interesting. You can compare the handwriting. Liu Yanxi's words were perfect. Yes, how could a daughter help the kidnappers to blackmail her mother? The police criticized and educated us. It's okay for couples to pursue romance, but they also have to pay attention to safety and not go to dangerous places such as mountains, rivers, and seas to seek excitement. Okay, sorry to bother you. You should have a good rest. After the police left, I stared at Liu Yanxi in a daze. Is she crazy? Yanxi. Suddenly a middle-aged man walked in with a smile. My good daughter, when did you get a boyfriend? Oh, Dad. Liu Yanxi was a little impatient. It turned out that this was Liu Yanxi's father. He pulled me affectionately and said, not bad, the boy is cute, but his hair is a little oily, and it can be scraped with putty. I can't say that I haven't washed my hair for many days. He pulled me aside and talked non-stop, introducing oil control shampoo and talking about Liu Yanxi. As he spoke, his eyes suddenly turned red. Young man, I won't hide it from you. In fact, Liu Yanxi has depression and her mood is up and down. If you can't accept it, I won't force you to be with her. I shook my head. Uncle, Yu Yanxi has a good personality. Besides, Dr. Ma also said that she has a great hope of getting out of it. We chatted for a while, and Liu Yanxi's father said he was going back. At the end, he also told Liu Yanxi to take time to call Aunt Wang, saying that Aunt Wang had recently gone abroad for business. She received a blackmail text message yesterday and was so scared that she wanted to jump into the sea and swim back immediately. Going abroad, so Aunt Wang didn't receive my more than 10 blackmail letters at all. After Liu Yanxi's father left, I asked Liu Yanxi, Where are my more than 10 blackmail letters? She took a bite of watermelon. Didn't I go back home and throw all the letters into the shredder? After Yu Yan she felt better. We went to the police station to take a statement. On the way there, Yu Yan she told me not to let it slip that my identity was her boyfriend. Yu Yan she, thank you. My eyes were slightly wet. She touched my head gently. You're welcome. MUXI. I wiped my tears. No, I want to tell you Yanxi I'm sorry. When I finished taking notes, it was already late. Liu Yanxi invited me to have dinner together, but I refused. On the one hand, I had to go back to take care of Mu Shen. And on the other hand, I was afraid that the longer I stayed with her, the less I wanted to leave her. When I returned to the hospital, Mu Shen was sleeping. I washed my face and just pushed the door open when I ran into Yi. Halu came back with the checkup sheet. He looked solemn and handed me the checkup sheet. Your brother's condition is getting worse and worse, and you must get a kidney transplant as soon as possible. I felt like I was falling into an ice cellar in an instant. Although you really need money, I still think you shouldn't. I interrupted him. I didn't extort 500,000. What do you mean? I burst into tears. I don't have 500,000, and I will never get 500,000 again. Mushi, what happened? Don't be depressed. I wiped my tears and told him everything that happened. After listening, Yihao's eyes were red and he hugged me. Let's think of other ways. There will always be a way. We were crying. Mu Shen woke up. Brother, why are you crying? I wiped my tears quickly. Brother is useless. I didn't buy the lollipop that Anan likes to eat. Brother, don't cry. I don't want to eat lollipops. Seeing that Mu Shen was so sensible, I felt more and more useless. If Mom and Dad were still alive, would there be a way to save Mu Shen? I watched cartoons with Mu Shen. Maybe he was sick. He fell asleep again soon. I checked the balance of my bank card, and there was only 20,000 yuan left. I went to the payment office and planned to pay off the medical expenses that I owed these days, but I didn't expect the cashier to say that someone had already paid all of Mu Shen's medical expenses and kidney transplant surgery fees. I stood there in a daze. Who was it? Liu Yanxi. I don't know why when I thought of her, tears couldn't stop flowing. Brother Mu. I turned around and saw Drive. Ma he handed me a pack of medicine and asked me to pass it to Liu Yanxi. I looked down and saw the words, Flucastini hydrocard capsules, on the medicine box. I know it's an antidepressant. Her name sounds so beautiful and generous. And she looks so pretty when she smiles. Why does she suffer from depression? As Drive. Ma, did Liu Yanxi really pay for my brother's medical expenses and surgery? He was silent for a while and said, yes. To be honest, I'm very curious. Why don't you just blackmail Liu Yanxi directly, but blackmail Aunt Wang? Unexpectedly, he sighed and patted my shoulder. Liu Yanxi, she needs you very much now. After that, he left. Suddenly, the WeChat notification sounded. I took out my phone and opened it. It was Liu Yanxi's message. MUXI. I like you. Please don't refuse to have dinner with me again. I stood there blankly, with inexplicable emotions in my chest. I replied, don't you hate me? I tied you up in the first place. After a while, she replied, no. I hesitated and asked again, do you like me? Can I like you? My fingers trembled a little when I typed this sentence. Soon a message popped up. Yes, 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 yes. So yes. Looking at her excited reply, I couldn't help but shed tears. I was so lucky to meet her. I put my phone back in my pocket and walked straight to the office of Dr. Ma in the psychiatry department. Dr. Ma, I want to ask how to get along with people with depression. I paused and continued, also I want to know more about depression. Dr. Ma's eyes lit up instantly. You and Liu Yanxi got together so quickly. I scratched my head and laughed. It's a little fast. Congratulations, he got excited. In fact, what people with depression need most is not sympathy, but understanding and companionship. I sat in front of him and took notes seriously. Before I knew it, I had written more than a dozen pages. Okay, let's stop here today. I put down my pen, rubbed my sore hands, and asked hesitantly, Dr. Ma, why did Liu Yanxi note you? Muscle and bone patch. He looked into the distance as if he was lost in memory. At that time, Liu Yanxi and I were only 3 or 4 years old. One day she ran to tell me that my father was sick and had bone hyperplasia in his throat. I looked and found a bulge in my father's throat. I was very worried. I heard that the muscle and bone patch can cure bone hyperplasia, so I put the muscle and bone patch on my father's throat while he was asleep. After waiting for half an hour, the bulge did not disappear. My brain twitched, and I punched my dad in the throat. He smiled and continued. It was an unforgettable beating. I cried so hard. What's funny is, the next day, Liu Yanxi asked me how effective the muscle and bone plaster was, because her father's throat also bulged. I couldn't help but laugh. Then what? Then I lied to her and said the effect was great. Unexpectedly, she went back and did the same thing. Not only was she not beaten, but Aunt Wayne patiently told her that it was an Adam's apple, which only men have. I burst out laughing. Liu Yanxi's leisurely voice suddenly came from the door. Why are you two telling jokes behind my back? I ran up to Liu Yanxi and said, Liu Yanxi, the nickname you gave Drive. So appropriate. She smiled and said, Really? Then I'll give you one too. I was a little nervous. Her eyes were bright bean sprouts, big tooth flowers. Liu Yanxi, you are bullying me. I rushed over and wanted to hit her twice. But she hugged me, smiling triumphantly, her eyes as bright as stars.